Hi all, welcome back to the session on Gandhi for the 21st century. In the last two videos, we discussed the contribution of Gandhi to India's national movement, the initial local satyagrahas, and the non-cooperation movement. Today in this video, we will discuss the civil disobedience movement of the 1930s and the Quit India movement of the 1940s. So after the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement in 1922, Gandhi spent his time and energy creating awareness among the Indian masses on the effective use of non-violence and satyagraha. He was also concentrating on the constructive programs for the rural upliftment. There were 18 constructive programs introduced by Gandhi to build a new India. During the 1930s, the political situation in India worsened, extremist ideology spread across the country, and Britain used coercive measures to control the growing unrest among the Indian population. The British couldn't keep the promise of dominion status they offered earlier, and the Lahore session of the Indian National Congress decided to launch a movement for complete independence, that is Purna Swaraj. Civil disobedience was adopted as a strategy. Gandhi adopted the idea of civil disobedience from Henry David Thoreau, an American philosopher who used the term to denote resistance to civil government. On March 12, 1930, at 6:10 a.m., Gandhi started his historical Dandi march from Sabarmati Ashram along with his 78 Ashramites. Like the historic march of Ramchandra to Lanka, the march of Dandi would be memorable, was a remarkable comment by Motilal Nehru on Gandhi's Salt March. Gandhi covered almost 240 miles, that is about 390 kilometers within 24 days. The British response was very cold. It is difficult not to laugh, and we imagine that would be the mood of most thinking Indian, the Statesman newspaper reported. Lord Irwin, the Viceroy, replied to a reporter when he was asked his opinion on the Salt March as, "At present, the prospect of a salt campaign does not keep me awake at night." Gandhi was not just walking. On the way, he gave interviews to the foreign media, and he also wrote and published articles on the salt campaign. Foreign journalists and 3 Bombay cinema companies were shooting newsreel footage, making Gandhi famous in Europe and America. His famous remark, "I want world sympathy in this battle of right against might," attracted attention from the peace lovers across the globe. Gandhi selected salt very purposefully in this movement. British authorities monopolized salt manufacture and distribution at that time. Gandhi wanted to resist this. And also he realized that as salt is used by the rich and poor alike, the movement may attract mass support. As he imagined, people were flowing to see Gandhi on his way to Dandi beach. Mini satyagraha campaigns were held across the country. Thousands of women and children joined the Salt March on the way. Finally, you can see how the movement shook the entire British Empire. Gandhi was arrested and jailed after he announced civil disobedience by picking a handful of salt from Dandi beach. But the authorities were forced to release him after the Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed on March 1, 1931. Another national campaign of Gandhi was in 1942, the famous Quit India movement. The struggle for independence was at its peak during the Second World War. Subhash Chandra Bose and Rash Bihari Bose initiated Indian National Army, following military tactics to get freedom from the Britishers. There was a demand for a separate nation from Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Muslim League. Hindu Mahasabha also emerged to protect the interests of Hindus. Cripps mission came to India in 1942 and sought India's support in the Second World War. Transfer of power was offered to India after the World War. Gandhi did not believe the words of the Britishers as they made the same offer during the First World War, but couldn't keep the promise. He also thought the presence of the British in India might attract the attack from Japan. So the Indian National Congress, Bombay meeting started a campaign demanding the Britishers to leave the country. Quit India, that means leave India. Gandhi gave his famous message, "Do or die," during his speech on August 8, 1942. This was the first time that Gandhi was giving a message which has some kind of violence, do or die. British authorities arrested him and all other prominent leaders of the struggle, including Kasturba Gandhi. Unfortunately, the jail time was extended for a long time, and Kasturba Gandhi died inside the jail on February 22nd, 1944. Though the movement was unsuccessful in bringing a sudden change, the Quit India movement attracted many young people to the national movement. Students left their schools and colleges to join the protest against the Britishers. It also led to large-scale violence across the country, forcing the Britishers to leave India eventually. To sum up, these are the qualities of Gandhi which made him a unique leader in Indian national movement. First one is the introduction of Satyagraha, a new weapon to fight against the injustice. And also fasting was effectively used in Indian national movement. Non-violent reconciliation, if there is any possibility to go for a non-violent conflict resolution, he was preferring that. Many people believe, for example, people like Subhash Chandra Bose and other extremists also, they believe that ends justify the means. If the result is good, if we can throw the Britishers outside, our violent means also will justify that. But Gandhi was a person who was believing in the means. Hindu-Muslim unity. He was a person who worked for Hindu-Muslim unity throughout his life. And during the national movement also, he was bringing all kind of possibilities to unite Hindus and Muslims. Another thing, throughout his life, Gandhi was fighting against untouchability, and he was a person who encouraged intercaste dining, intercaste marriages and so on, so that we can remove that kind of injustice from the society. Another thing, how he identified with the poor. All other Indian national leaders, those who are highly educated, they considered themselves as superior, and they were always keeping them away from the poor people. But Gandhi was a person who always wanted to be with the poor people, and he was identifying himself with the poor people. Another important aspect is how he was encouraging women to be a part of India's national movement. Through the example of Kasturba Gandhi, he was inviting Indian women to be a part of that. And without that kind of mass participation, it is not possible for India to attain independence that he understood. The economic aspect of Swadeshi, Gandhi believed that a nation which is depending on other nations for their survival cannot be free. So he wanted Indian people, especially the women, to have economic income. That is why he introduced small-scale industries, khadi industry, and so. Almost all the constructive programs was aiming self-reliance. So that's it. So that is how we can see that how Gandhi was different from all other national leaders. Thank you.